Hello, Captains. This is the Doctor, and today is the day. It is April 25th on 2017 in Star Trek Online, and Season 13 Escalation has been released for the game. It is official, it is in the game, and it is being wrought with mixed feedback for sure. Actually, I am not even able to log into the game currently. Servers are down, so I tried to log in to do a what's new video and some other things, and well, I can't even get in the game, so instead I'm bringing you another news post today. Now I'm going to make this pretty quick, and I'm also going to show you a forum thread on the official Star Trek Online forums with some general user feedback about this season, and I thought I would put that out there just so you guys know what other players in the game are thinking about this season and some of the changes. But before we get to that, let's start with the official launch news item bit right here. This is welcome to Season 13, so let me read through this. Season 13 is here, and it's packed with exciting new content for everyone. Earlier in the year, the Zenkethi were revealed, and they were making more dangerous plays in the Alpha Quadrant as they devastate planets, seemingly at random. The Alliance needs to continue to explore the space surrounding the Zenkethi advance to try and determine a pattern to their attacks. With our new featured episode, Mirrors and Smoke, captains will work with the Lucari as they explore a mysterious nebula and discover the secrets within. The mystery of the Zenkethi continues in Season 13, while new mysteries of the Lucari are discovered. On top of this amazing storyline, the new Wargame queues will offer players a brand new type of competitive PvE gameplay. 2 teams of 5 players will compete against each other in a gauntlet filled with minigame challenges and enemy NPCs as they race to be the first team to complete all of their challenges. In order to maintain a competitive landscape, we've instituted a new player performance system that will take player gear and ability into account in order to keep captains matched with captains of similar skills. These types of gameplay and matchmaking improvements are completely unique in the history of STO, and I can't wait for the community to get their hands on it. We are also offering some new brand reputation rewards to go with our Wargame queues, featuring for the first time class-specific gear for space. Each of these 3 sets are themed toward different aspects of the game, from offensive capability to survivability to general support, and they can all be mixed and matched to create a custom set of gear that fits your style of play best. Of course, a reputation wouldn't be complete without a new ground armor set, and we are offering 3 visual styles based on our 3 factions. Each of these armor sets can be customized with the others, so there are fantastic options for our players to individualize their look on the ground. In order to ensure our captains are always making good choices when equipping gear or selecting skills, we've completed a space rebalance for Season 13. In the same vein as the ground updates from earlier this year, the goal of the space balance changes is to normalize outliers on the top and bottom of the power curve without adjusting too much of the middle that is already working well. These changes were thoroughly tested and regularly iterated on with the help of all our captains on the test shard, and we believe they will provide a more balanced and exciting experience for everyone. Season 13 Escalation has been a labor of love for the STO development team, and we've had a lot of fun playtesting everything that you're getting today. Well, or not, because I can't even log into the game. With a continuation of our great Zenkethi storyline, new types of gameplay, and some high-quality brand new rewards. There's definitely something for everyone in this update. Thanks for playing. I look forward to seeing you in-game. There are a lot of things that I like here. I am not too keen so much on these war games just yet, but I haven't played them, so I don't know yet. But I do like this idea of, having more unique space builds and ground builds. Being able to mix match these parts from these different class-specific sets and the visuals and all that, trying to make our builds a little more unique. That I like. I like having that individuality and uniqueness and trying to mix match things and kind of, build a set like that and have a unique visual and all that. So kudos on that. I love that aspect of it. And yeah, it's another reputation we have to grind through, but I expect that at this point. So nothing really harmful there. It does give us more things to play with in the game, so that's really not a huge issue. Big questions I have still are, how are these space balances, power balances, really going to affect everyone? And are these new wargame queues any interesting, any fun? Are people going to continue to play them, or are they going to die off quickly? And then second, how this new matchmaking process happens, and is this going to really work well or is it not? And then the new UI that goes with it, how is that going to work well? So those things I question. The new featured episode sounds awesome. The new reputation sounds cool. And the new gear we're going to get with the reputation sounds all right. It's just all the other stuff around it I'm worried about, but we'll see. They are offering a keyring bundle right now, so this is another chance to get one of these huge 20 Keymaster ring boxes for a lot of Zen, 2250 Zen. But I think you also get an upgrade, an ultimate tech upgrade that will instantly take any item to a maximum quality, Mark 14 Epic. So that's pretty cool. That's obviously just a way for them to have you spend more money, because people like these boxes because they give a lot of keys and they give that ultimate tech upgrade, but it does cost a lot of Zen. We have the Mirrors and Smoke rewards week 1. Each week we'll roll out new rewards for the featured episode Mirrors and Smoke. The first week's reward is the Kentari Fortified Combat Armor. In addition, the first completion of this mission on an account this week will grant a featured episode weekly reward box. The box, of course, gives you an enhanced universal tech upgrade or captain specialization point. The combat armor is the result of many attempts at creating a more protective but productive armor for the Kentari military. The armor is designed to infuse the wearer with increased capacity to take damage rather than waste profits on more durable materials. Additionally, when used with other Kentari-designed gear, the excessive power can be further modulated to protect the wearer. This effect is not guaranteed to occur, as that would not be cost-effective. The Kentari Fortified Combat Armor counts toward the Excessive Development set. Collect and equip pieces from this set to unlock set bonuses. The 2-piece bonus is Kentari Armor and Shield Gain. There's a 12.5 chance of plus temporary hit points for 60 seconds when you take damage, and a plus 20% plasma damage. And then the third piece is a Residium Reactant Deployment. Call in a bombardment of plasma Residium Reactant. The target area is applied with a healthy coating of Residium Reactant stacks. Once applied, you can even trigger this power again to deploy a catalyst within the hazardous area to deal additional damage based on the amount of Residium Reactant stacks. So it sounds like an AoE damage hazard area, hazard patch or something like that. For the third piece bonus. And then the second one is basically more hit points or health points for 60 seconds only, though. And then plus 20% plasma damage. So I guess if you're firing plasma weapons, this will also help you do more plasma ground damage. So sounds like you might want to equip this set with plasma weaponry. Would probably work best with it. Interesting, although it doesn't tell you the specs of the armor, so that's a bit weird. They say, Mirrors and Smoke rewards week 1, but then they don't give you the actual specs of the armor, so I don't know what the armor actually consists of, but I guess when we go in game and play the mission, we'll find out, and I'll go over the specs on the armor then. So at this point, I'm just not sure what it really has to offer in terms of being a good armor or not. But that's what we're getting. So the Kentari are, I guess, who we're going to meet in this mission. I'm just guessing based on the fact that the reward is called Kentari stuff. Okay, now what I really want to get to, because I found this interesting while I was browsing today, trying to figure out why the server is offline, first of all, but I came across this thread in the forums. This is the official PC Welcome to Season 13 thread on the official Cryptic forums. So everybody can come here. I'll make this a little bigger. Everybody can come here and read this for yourself. There's the URL. You can see I'm on the official forum. So this is all public. So, I don't want anyone to get offended for me reading their post online if they're watching this video. This is a public forum, so your post, of course, is visible by everybody in the world. So me just having it in this video is just reiterating that. And I'm sure you'd be proud to know that your comment is getting read, and hopefully Cryptic is listening as well, because there are a lot of critiques in this thread. And, I'm just going to read the user feedback. Remember, these are people from the game playing it today with Season 13, and this is some of their feedback. I'll go ahead and reload this just so we get the latest updates. This is their latest feedback on Season 13. So this is what we get. We've got Tunebreaker checking in here. And as predicted, it begins with a total disaster. New Q UI is worse than Horribad. Confirmation window doesn't pop up, so you just get randomly warped on a map without any warning. You can't really understand what you have queued for, and matchmaking in general is a total lackluster. Oh, and you can't anymore queue simultaneously for a single queue, but different difficulties, which is also a terrible change. Ever heard of the old truth of not needing to fix things that ain't broken? Oh, and on top of that, elite queues have normal tier enemies. Was hilarious to complete Hive Elite within 1 minute and 27 seconds. We have this person here responding, Lord Steve, saying, gotta agree with my channel friend here. The new Q UI is terrible. It's got repeated text in places, difficult to navigate, and it's difficult to see what you actually queued for. I just found it really hard to find the queue I wanted to see and what other things I was wanting to pop, which with the old system had no issues with. Then once you are actually queued and players accept you, no longer have a pop-up to see a countdown or anything. It's all a bit messy. Also, yes, the NPC levels are totally messed up. I thought I'd suddenly become super uber player until I saw that they were almost 10 to 15 levels below me. NCC 1701 says, I feel like this should have been Season 12.5, not Season 13, because Season 12 didn't offer so much, but I am looking forward to trying out all the new things. Sheldon Cooper says, also, cooldowns for the mark types are gone. That was a great feature to keep track of all the 20-hour cooldowns. E30 Ernest says, I agree in regards to the new QUI. Its functionally inferior to the previous one. This person here, Kyle, says PvP is completely gone. That is because the PvP was simply turned off, as Vegeta lets us know. Kyle says, just saw that, thanks. Chevette says, it's a minor point, but dear goodness, what has happened to the ESD docking guy's hair? I'll have to check that out. Sergeant Floyd Pepper says, yep, I concur. Number 1, QUI sucks horribly. Why aren't the new marks available in red alerts as with previous reputations? And where the heck did the cooldown list disappear to? Yep, the PvP season that yeah, yay, the PvP. This is great from Jose Milot. Yay, the PvP season that disabled PvP. Good job, Cryptic. I am just curious why you people hate so much PvP. Captain Obvious says, new QUI doesn't even work for me. Even after several relogs, a pair of restarts, and forced verification, it just sits there trying to look pretty while ignoring all attempts at interaction with it. Those I've spoken to seen that get it working are lamenting the lost functionality and the new quirks, like being thrown out of queues on a map or instance change. Good job fixing something that wasn't all that broken. The general mood I've seen in game so far is that it needs to be reverted. It's just flat out bad. The new ep is awful. Wow, okay. It's the first time I've heard about the episode here. The new ep is awful. Horrid writing, disastrous voiceover, a captain who is both not believable and schizophrenic. Yes, I mean Kumarake, or whatever her name is, and genuinely ham-fisted attempt at a morality play. Dare I mention the dreadnought near the end? Its shields make it near invulnerable. I suffered heavy in the nerf, and took about 10 minutes to down that thing. It made for a truly frustrating experience grinding that thing down. Frankly, there are far better missions in the Foundry. This was supposed to be a season release. It seems like it was just an excuse to nerf things. On a positive note, the bank consoles on DS9 have a nice animation on their displays, which I haven't seen before. Alright. Silas says, just logged in. I've not tinkered enough to tell the whole season for me, but I can say without a doubt I hate the new queues. So there you go. Lentz, 1975. The new QUI is confusing and annoying. I like the episode, but seems a bit off for some reason. I have no idea how the matching system can work at all, since even if I have the same gear and setup from a top DPS player, I won't do anything near him or her damage. And get the new marks on the red alerts, please. I have no will or intention of joining PvP matches for them. See, together with the latest patch notes, the season name is hilariously appropriate. Big list of changes will always be bumpy. Let's hope and look forward to the best. There are some hopeful people. Completed the featured episode. No particular problem there, though the storyline is absurdly foreshortened. We can restore. I'm not going to read this because I don't want to know the storyline yet because I haven't played it. So I'm just kind of scanning over this. I don't want to spoil myself. So some people are thinking the featured episode is not very well written. Gotta love it. Season 13 is live with a horrid new GUI and implementation, yet the Season 12 launch trailer is front and center on the PC STO news page. I also think the title of Season 13 is incorrect. It should be Season 13. We're not even attempting to care anymore. Some people have some very low opinions. Yeah, I don't want to read spoilers. Let's see. You disable PvP on the PvP season, Cryptic. Why? Like some before me just ask, why do you guys at Cryptic hate PvP? Just give us a why, please. The graphics glitches. Normally I don't take to the forums like this, but my whole crew is missing textures. There's clipping. My captain doesn't even have the right beard on. Is anyone else noticing this? Edit. Reputation tab won't stop flashing like something is completed. Nothing is. Issue is only when looking at characters, NPCs, and UI, ground maps look fine. However, the trailer has some amazing graphics bugs. The edges of my character were so choppy and pixelated that I was laughing. I'm guessing you're having a transparency issue too. By chance, does it look like this? So there's some transparency issues, some graphics bugs with this season. Liked the FE, although it is a bit predictable, as some have mentioned. The UI may simply be a matter of getting used to. It is a lot less cluttered than it was before. One thing which disappoints me is the new competitive marks are not available from Borg Red Alerts. Yeah, I wish they would make that a thing. Don't know what this is. I'm afraid to click it. I don't know what it is. Guess we'll find out together. Oh, yeah, that could be a bug. That looks pretty terrible. The graphics glitches are really ugly. Some hairstyles look like they're made of solid blocks. Chest hair looks like a solid chest plate. The horrible tan square around the emblem on ESD is very ugly. On the plus side, I enjoyed the new cues, and I like the ground map in the new FE. It's really well done. Still, please bring back the view cooldowns button so we know what's happening with the marks. I agree with that. Need to have that view cools down. So that person actually liked the new cues. If you're having these graphical issues, yeah, okay, PM me. This is a 3-page thing here. So let's skim over this a little bit faster. Interesting enough, the new patch fixed old graphics I was having with textures. Not enjoying Core Assault much. Though I hate to sound insulting, it's too complicated for your average pug. Every instance I've played, I have been the only one doing anything to open doors. I keep finding myself teamed with players who either have no idea what they're doing, which means they skip the tutorial, or they can't think beyond shooting stuff. I agree with this sentiment. I actually want to make this a point here and spend a little bit of time on this statement right here. This is kind of what I was referring to in my previous video when I was talking about how well these new STFs, Qs, whatever, will do in Pugs, because it's in Pugs that people really don't follow the rules, or they don't do what they're supposed to. It's in Pugs where people just want to just shoot stuff. That's all they want to do, and they don't really want to take the time to do a puzzle or do the right options, do the right things, or they just simply don't know it. They didn't watch the tutorial. They don't want to take the time and effort to figure out how to do something correctly. They just want to go in and shoot stuff. So with a new queue like this, where you have these puzzles and you have to be smart as a team and all this stuff, I don't think it's going to work well in Pugs, and this person is reiterating exactly what I'm thinking here as well. It's too complicated for your average Pug. Now, it may be good for a pre-made team, so you put a team together yourself, or you're in a DPS channel or something like that, maybe they're fine. But in a Pug, I think as well, these may be a little too complicated for your average Pug, just as this person says. So I reiterate that statement and feel exactly like that person on this. I think a Pug, for Pugs, the cues just need to be simple. It needs to simply be just shooting stuff to get to the end. Really. So, yeah. I mean, that's just the way it is in the game. You know, we've experienced 7 years of this now. We know what's going to happen in Pugs. So it's like, why make something overly complicated when you know it's not going to work well in a Pug? That to me is like Cryptic not realizing how the player base is really playing the game. They don't understand what is really going on when you queue up a Pug and just play it. This person here says new queues UI is just bad. Revert it and add the whole competitive queues as a new tab, much like private queues. For some bizarre reason, I can't equip any buff with temporal or command ground abilities. So bugs is love new queues. Competitive nature is refreshing, and they are not just DPS races. Well, not entirely. Some teamwork is required, but still puggable. Not too long, and winners get nice rewards. Queue window is good too. Takes some time getting used to, but it's a lot less cluttered than it used to be. I was sure this season was going to be a disaster, but instead it turned out to be the best thing that happened to STO since lore, in my opinion. So this person, Winter Mutveries, whatever, has a very high opinion of this season. Again, I don't have an opinion just yet myself because I haven't been able to log in to see it. But once I get in, I will, of course, form my own opinions. I just wanted to put some of these opinions of other players out there for you guys so you know what others are experiencing. I had a graphic issue, sort of. I was playing Kid Ground and the console in the room that used to disable the shields around the nodes had disappeared. Now that's not so bad. You could still interact with it, although it was invisible. Okay. NPCs seem to be level 46. If you're playing advanced, they're 16 levels lower. When playing normal and being scaled down to 50, they're level 46. Almost as if they're the same difficulty from normal level content from before. The new queues are fun, but everything else is just plain boring. Breakdown on why new QUI and system in general is bad. The wait timer was totally random, and when it finally gave me a queue, I instantly got dumped into a queue that was more than half finished. I entered an advanced queue after way too many clicks, and guess what? All enemies were level 44. It was a joke. The UI has no indication whatsoever of the following: what marks are on cooldown, whether the number of queued means in a match or actually queued. In my case, they were all in a match. It takes way too many clicks to select a queue. Old was 2 clicks, select queue, then select join. This new one, however, is 1 click to bring up the list of queues for the marks you want, another 2 for the difficulty, 1 to open up the menu, another to select difficulty, which has to be changed on an individual basis per queue, and resets to easy every single time you open the UI. Then another to tick the queue, then another to actually join the queue. That's 5 or 2.5 times more than before. I agree. If you've got too many clicks to enter these queues, you're going to have even less people entering them. It was nice when it was just like 2 clicks to enter a queue. Now if it takes that many, maybe what they need is some kind of default difficulty setting, like always open the queues at a certain default difficulty that you want to play at. Something like that maybe could reduce the number of steps, but adding more clicks and steps to join a queue just makes it more complicated, and I don't think that's necessary. I liked it the way it was before, just a couple of clicks and you're queued for a queue. When you finally get a queue after a total random wait time, again, I don't like random wait times either. It could be a long time or a short time, you don't know. You click the go button and you instantly teleport in, giving no time for the team to assemble itself. And in my case, dump me into the queue, infected the conduit advanced, aka ISA, that was already half finished. I would totally hate that. I don't want to join a queue that's already half finished. I want to start from the beginning, and I want it to give us that time in the beginning where we're all assembled so we can, talk to each other and get prepared for things before the whole thing starts. So yeah, this does sound kind of bad to me, but I haven't tried it yet, so we'll see. The private queues section is a joke, as you need to be pre-teamed to even start one, rather than the special teaming UI it used to have, which means you cannot possibly have a mixed faction queue. Oh, faction. You can't have mixed faction queues. Or try it solo. I used to enjoy doing Starbase 24, which has vanished by the way, solo as a way to get Starship Mastery without having to sector crawl to kill enemy type patrols. Right, a lot of people did that, as well as a fun way to see how a ship performed. Right, a lot of people use Starbase 24 for that, and now you're telling me that ability is gone? That's a terrible move right there. And now you're telling me that we can't do mixed faction queues because of the way this works, or pre-made mixed faction queues, and we can't do, because I liked the way it teamed before. You would create a private thing, you just join the thing and go. They are making this more complicated and crazy than it needs to be. My advice would be just to totally revert this UI back to how it was and add the competitive PvE queues to a new tab similar to PvP and private queues. Wow, so that does sound bad. And that person is very much correct. I like the way it worked before. I've got to agree on the queue GUI changes. I rarely filter by reward type, but now I have to. I always filter out normal difficulty and usually filter out ground, but now I can do neither. And every queue defaults to normal, which I never play. So every single time I queue, I have to click on the drop down, and I am unable to queue advanced and expert versions of the same queue, and I can't see all the queues that I have joined. Also, the cooldown timer information seems to be lost. Please return the GUI to how it was. It would be one thing if there were some advantages to the new layout, but I have yet to find one. On a different note, how does a bug as fundamental as far-reaching as having all the advanced and expert queues spawning normal enemies make it to holodeck? That's what I brought up in my last video as well. With such groundbreaking bugs, how can you release such things knowing that there are groundbreaking bugs? Seems to me a little premature. They should have held it back until those bugs were squashed. They aren't even normal enemies, though. They are special super low-level enemies that are just a joke. The ones in ISO were level 44, the old minimum for that queue a long time ago before the rising of the Delta. I encountered the same bug. My ground away teams were all spec command, and all their command abilities were reverted to their respective original profession ones when I checked them out. I could not make them reslot the command abilities. That's terrible. More graphics bugs here. I don't mind the new queue UI. I find it cleaner. But yes, you can't multi-queue the same thing on different difficulty. And I didn't find how to get rid of the ground queue. Yeah, I liked being able to make, pick the same queue or STF, whatever, and being able to queue for the different difficulties. Like I could queue for advanced and elite at the same time, and whichever one popped first I would go with. I liked being able to do that. So now we can't do that? That's terrible. Fleet Starbase defense is gone. Loot's impossible to take. Server shut down after 15 minutes of playing. Boy. The puzzle stuff is a mistake to have in the queue. But other than that, it should be solid. Enemies confined to space rooms. Kill them all. That's A+++ Q stuff. Yeah, I think the puzzle should be removed as well. So yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. The slot machine UI for the lock boxes is a nice touch. I kind of wish I had a spinning prize wheel thing. In less than 6 hours of this release going live, you shut it down because it's borked. What is the purpose of beta testing on the Triple Surfer if it's not to identify and fix problems before going live? Or does the dev team simply not care? Yeah, I kind of bring up this same sentiment, you know, fix the problems before you officially release it. That would be nice. That way you don't have to have unexpected server downtimes like we're having right now, in fact. Logs in, patches game, anticipates everything to be broken, game is offline. That was my situation. I patched the game, anticipated, had fraps ready to go so I could record a video for you guys, logged in, and it said none of the servers are available. So I share that sentiment today. I assume that the Q AI changes were made and possibly again rushed as it was still a work in progress in the last patch notes because the list was getting far too long. If this is the case and we can come up with better alternatives to address that admittedly serious drawback of the old system, then surely reverting back to the old system is something worth considering. To launch just one suggestion, maybe it would be possible to, in the old AI, just add another tab for each difficulty. It would make the list somewhere between 33 and 50% shorter. The size of the list of cues was the only drawback I can think of when we look at the old UI, and it was the only thing that made that system a bit clumsy. Here, however, the whole thing is clumsy and very user-unfriendly. This really needs to be reconsidered. Man. I also get the loot not lootable bug. I also concur that the rewards cooldown UI is absent, and since you mentioned it now featuring the competitive marks in the patch note, I imagine it's a bug or omission. Anyway, I really wish it could come back as soon as possible. The rest I can live with. I'm a Zen person. So you have to be a very Zen person to play Star Trek Online now. And yeah. Okay, but besides that, the server is down. I like the new stuff. Agree with some stuff. The new 12 heavy weapon is awesome. Max on my Natator Raider. .1. Funny how people just can't get the good things and only the bad. The Q is different. Yes, bad, no. It is not bad in the least. I've been here forever. The Q was always one of the snags. Take it. Maybe you science guys hate it so bad because you won't be able to sit around and say bacon. I don't get that. Only bug I hit, as mentioned, was after I completed Smoke and Mirrors. The server disconnected and is reporting to be down, and the Q was beeping twice. Not once, but every time. So 2 cents and keep up the good work. Well, and as far as the deforestation matter with the proto matter, oh, I don't want to read that storyline element, it sounds like. Good work is fixing the bugs before going live, not having to shut it down 6 hours after release because it's so flawed as to require an immediate hotfix. I haven't seen any of the good things because, oh yeah, the server is offline after only 6 hours after the updates. Lol, a nice welcome indeed. The server is down. Surprise, surprise. And we're back online for now. Better than 5 hours down, I guess. So I guess the game is back. So I will be jumping in myself to find out what this is all about. But yeah, that was that. Let's see. I wonder what the downtime was for exactly. Not really sure what the downtime was for, but maybe it's back online now. Let me just scoot over here real quick. Let me see. Is the game online? Yeah, here you go, guys. Look at that. Server status up. So I am going to log back in and check all this out. But I just wanted to share that with you guys because that was some real user feedback from the game, you know, from people playing Season 13 and what their thoughts and ideas are. Some positives in there, some hopefuls. But I have to say probably a lot more negativity than there is hopeful, especially against the new UI. A lot of people are against the new UI. That seems to be the biggest problem there. So I have yet to use it myself. I have no personal experience at this point, but I am going to log into the game and use it, and I will give you my feedback, after I use it. The next video I'm going to make is going to be a welcome to Season 13 video. I'm going to go in the game, and I'm going to find out where we go to do all the new things. And I'm going to take a look at what you can do with Season 13 now that it's available, and we will take a look at the new UI and all that stuff. So we'll take a look at it and I'll give you my initial feedback and impressions looking at it for the first time, and then I'll use it more in the future and maybe make another video later on after I've used it quite a bit to give my overall feedback on what I think of some of these changes. But for now, I just wanted to get this news out there now that Season 13 is live, and go at it, have fun. Let me know what you guys think in the comments of Season 13 so far. Very interested. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next one.